人気な弓をかき集め、探し物を探しに行くのさ。
One Piece! You need to consume One Piece. But Orange, it has 1,200 chapters and almost just as many. Shut the I can't say that this early in the video, damn. I wish to hear none of your nonsense. Whether you are a full-time student working a full-time job and you have a full-time life, or if you're a single parent of 5 working 60-hour work weeks trying to support your children, you still need to consume One Piece. It doesn't matter. Now, those of you who are employed, live a life, or live under a rock even, may be wondering, why do I need to consume One Piece? Or, what is One Piece? And that is a great question. I don't know either. But let me explain what One Piece is. So, One Piece is essentially a goofy pirate manga that follows a simple-minded, silly kid named Monkey D. Luffy who sets out to sea to chase his dreams, which is becoming the Pirate King, and there's something more that we can't really talk about because y'all don't watch the show. Watch the goddamn show. Anyway, he builds his crew and does a whole lot of shonen anime stuff, and I know what you're thinking right now. Alright, you want me to watch 1,200 episodes of pirates sailing the... Anyway, while on the surface it may seem like just another wacky manga, the One Piece story has some of the best world building that I've ever seen. It allows the story to effortlessly blend genres together and dive into everything from epic or horrific adventures to intense political drama and power struggles that mirror real world issues, by the way. More importantly, kind of the whole reason I'm making this video is that One Piece is written in such a way that it challenges the reader or the consumer to challenge their own sense of morality, prompting you to question what justice really is or what it means to chase your dreams for real. Like, are you really free, bro? Be so for real. In today's economy, are you free? One Piece. I'm gonna try to do this with a minimal amount of spoilage possible. But be so for real, bro. You're watching this YouTube video about a 1,000 episode anime and you haven't even started it. What are you doing? Anyway, our story starts with this guy having a really nice mustache and a big old smile on an execution platform. So this random guy with a really nice mustache turns out to be the Pirate King. He then decides to tell the entire world that he left all of his treasure in one place. Everyone chases out to the sea, tries to find this treasure, whatnot. They start referring to it as the One Piece because, you know, it grants wealth, fame, power. The Pirate King had this and everything else the world had to offer out. Now, of course, we're glancing over a ton of detail. There's so much lore that happens before this execution, and there's obviously like doubters and stuff who don't even believe the Pirate King or anything that he's saying before his execution. Like, it's all bullshit. You're about to die. F you, man. Goodbye. But that's not what we're here to talk about. If you're interested in that, watch One Piece. For now, I'm convincing you to watch One Piece. So, the people that executed the Pirate King, those were the Marines. The Marines are the military force of the world government. The world government does not like pirates. Pirates are bad people. This is the exact wording of the world government. But here's the thing. The world government also does bad things. So what now? Revolutionary Army. These people hold anyone in the world government responsible for anything that they do that is not so world governmentally or, you know, upholding of peace. More self-serving and not so upholding of whatever integrity they got going on. We have pirates doing whatever they want. We have Marines trying to get control and order for the world government and maintain peace or whatever their goal is supposed to be. And then we have revolutionaries that directly stand against the world government. Do the revolutionaries do anything wrong? Good question. Watch One Piece. So I've established the three main powers of the story. What now? Big blue planet. Yeah, this planet is like 85% water, by the way, so that's kind of why the Marines are so prominent. Also, there's only one continent that goes around the globe, kind of like our equator, and everything else is islands. That's literally the only continent. Everything else is islands. I'm not even kidding. Aside from that one continent going around the planet, there's also two strips of water that just have nothing going on, like no islands, no winds, no currents, just two strips of water with nothing but sea kings, and it's like, yeah, if you got stuck there, you're kind of cooked. You just get eaten, bro. And then in the middle of those two strips, there's this giant strip of water called the Grand Line. And in that hole, it's pretty much a Fortnite battle royale, bro. You don't even want to know the kinds of things that be going on over there, bro. Just in case you aren't by your screen following whatever shitty presentation I'm giving you to follow along with what I'm saying, we have the Red Line, which that's what the continent is referred to, by the way. We have the Calm Belt and the Grand Line. They're both perpendicular perpendicular to each other and they form a cross. We got these two things wrapping around the planet. Everything that's in between these two things we call a blue. So there's a north blue, there's a south blue, there's a west blue, and there's an east blue. Right in the middle of the grand line, that's where everything is going on. And just to give a little bit of a brief synopsis, these are some things that are going on over in the New World. Underwater islands, fish people, sky islands, sky islanders, islands set half on fire and half frozen, child drugging and experimentation, islands ruled by floating drunk magikarps, flamingos running narc and human trafficking operations, giants, dwarfs, furries, double-jointed mothers, three-eyed mothers, and at one point many more. I somehow went this entire recording without talking about devil fruits or hockey, and I'm only realizing this after I'm done editing the video. So devil fruits are how anybody has any kind of superpower in the story, but in exchange for the superpower, they are no longer allowed to operate in any body of water that is of the sea. The sea hates you. You are rendered immobile in the sea. You become a vegetable in the sea. You can no longer do anything in the sea. Hockey is an entirely different thing. It's low-key like martial arts. It takes years to develop and get good at. There's 3 different kinds. There's conquerors, there's observation, and there's armament hockey. Observation and armament hockey are the only ones that you can learn. Conquerors, you have to be born with. You have to be a goat. You have to have that dog in you. If you don't have that dog in you, I'm sorry, you're cooked, man. Honestly, everything in this show is about who's the biggest dog. And let me tell you, my goat, Monkey D. Luffy, he's the biggest dog. So the 2 simple ones, observation and armament hockey, are exactly what they sound like. One allows you to armor yourself while the other one allows you to observe. You literally get the Sharingan. Conquerors hockey, however, is essentially being the goat. So you have so much willpower that you're able to exert it. It's literally a force. That is what it is. Exactly word for word, bar for bar. I don't know how else to put it. Now, this isn't to say that there aren't things like sky islands or fishmen or sea people that leak out into the regular blues and wreak havoc. Just chill, do whatever. That stuff does happen. We do meet some of these like random absurdities that are completely absurd even to the people in the series at the time before we enter the New World. But most of the show takes place in the New World. Everything goes on in the New World. I keep messing up. I keep referring to the Grand Line as the New World. The New World is actually the second half of the Grand Line, which is pretty much just the Grand Line on hardcore mode. If you really care, just watch One Piece. Anyway, we don't know what the One Piece is. We're all just having a great time along the way with the Straw Hat Pirates, going from island to island, chasing freedom and our dreams. Even though it has its similarities to real life, the journey so far has been out of this world and very mind-blowing, giving us those epic or horrific adventures, political power struggles, and pushing the boundaries of your morality, which I was talking about earlier. Watching One Piece almost makes you feel like you are a part of the crew going on these crazy adventures with them. I'm not trying to be extra or anything, but watching and reading One Piece has genuinely shifted my perception of life, and I genuinely feel like I enjoy my life more now, and I live a better life thanks to One Piece. Not entirely thanks to One Piece, but partially. Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is it helped me get the ball rolling. Without getting too much into detail, the story became my favorite story at Eni's Lobby, which is all the way at episode 263. But everything before that is still good. Just keep in mind it's a slow roller coaster. It's a bit of a way up, but once you go down, there's a ton of flips and shit. It's not just a downhill fall and it's fast and that's that. It's crazy, bro. Shit gets crazy. Trust me, it's worth it. Watch One Piece. But yeah, that's One Piece Explained. Subscribe and like. Bye.
Listen to my father, always told me to stay militant. Stay in school and he was tight, of course I started listening. He said he wanted to see me walk that stage, but I was ignorant. It was way before a nigga hit that age, I lost my innocence.